When those who guard justice break faith with it, the noise spreads faster than truth. Men feel it in their hearts before they read a headline. They ask, if even the guardians fall, who will protect the people? History has seen this before. A single act of betrayal can cast a long shadow across duty. Yet I say to you, the Republic can be saved. But only if honesty, courage, and calm reason stand their ground. Picture a courthouse in a quiet American city, flags at half-mast fluttering in cold wind, families standing on the steps, speaking in low voices about a fallen officer. That courthouse is not only in Buffalo, it lives in every town where trust must be rebuilt. When a federal agent in that northern city used the badge meant for justice to shelter those who defied the law, he struck at the bond between citizen and servant. For 20 years, he had risked his life against danger. Then, by slow degrees, through misplaced loyalty and silent consent, he betrayed the oath he swore. The court found him guilty of obstruction and deceit. The prosecutors sought a harsh term. The judge weighed mercy and complexity, giving 5 years behind bars. In that room, some wept for punishment, others for shame. Such moments remind the Republic how fragile confidence can be. Picture the courtroom itself, the law's books shining in lamplight. A weary judge speaking of both courage and corruption in one man's life. See the officer's family behind him, faces drawn between pride and grief. These are not scenes of triumph, they are lessons. Now imagine a small-town diner at dawn, truckers stirring coffee as news plays on an old screen. Some shake their heads, others sigh. They're all the same, but they are not all the same. For each man who betrays, thousands still stand watch in silence, guarding our homes, our roads, and our rights. Let us remember that justice is not the noise of punishment, but the steady hum of honest work done daily. Without that quiet duty, no law holds. Without faith in that duty, no citizen obeys. Think of a lone badge resting on a desk at sundown, its shine dimmed but not lost. That badge is more than metal. It is a promise, renewed each time truth outweighs comfort. When one bearer falters, the rest must lift the weight. The court has spoken, and the former agent will face his sentence. Yet beyond the verdict lies a question for all who serve. What guard do we keep within our own hearts? No rulebook can supply integrity where conscience is silent. Picture a police academy classroom, young recruits in neat rows, one trainer reading the oath aloud. Their faces are hopeful, some nervous. If virtue fills their training as firmly as tactics, the Republic's future stands secure. If not, corruption will steal in again, quiet as rust. This is no time for despair. It is a time for sober renewal. The strength of America has ever been her power to cleanse, to correct, to begin again without tearing herself apart. So let us begin again, calmly, wisely, as free citizens who still believe in lawful order. Think of a mother watching the evening news in her living room, her children nearby, half listening. She wonders if trust is even possible when officials fail. Tell her yes, trust can live, if citizens choose duty over cynicism. Because cynicism is easy, it costs nothing, it asks nothing. It says, why try? Why care? It is all broken. But that voice, if we let it grow, will break what is still good. I have learned that a free country does not fall only by outside force. It can also fall from inside. When people stop believing that honesty matters, when they stop thinking that law can be fair, when they stop teaching children to tell the truth, even when it hurts, we must draw the line between outrage and resolve. Outrage burns quick and dies. Resolve endures. Resolve means holding our institutions accountable without destroying them. It means knowing that when one branch rots, the tree is not doomed, for honest hands can still prune and heal. Picture the sunrise over a city skyline after storm clouds clear. First light striking the courthouse dome. That light is what reform looks like. It comes not from speeches alone, but from each worker, voter, teacher, and officer doing the next right thing. Now let us be plain about what this case tells us. It tells us that power is a test, a badge is a test, a gun, a warrant, a key to a file room, each is a test. Not every man fails that test, but any man can fail it if pride grows and fear of shame becomes stronger than love of truth. It also tells us that corruption can be loud, but it can also be quiet. It can look like action. It can also look like looking away, like choosing not to ask, not to report, not to step in. Many imagine betrayal as a sudden act, but often it is a slow road. One excuse today, another tomorrow. A friendship used as a shield, a secret kept just this once. And then the man wakes to find the lie has wrapped around him like rope. Remember, discipline is the Republic's invisible wall. When self-control erodes, no outer guard can save us. Every public trust begins with private virtue, keeping one's word even when unseen. Imagine a farmer at his gate at dusk, the fields behind him neat and honest. He sells crops measured fair, signs his name true, asks no favor but a fair price. That simple fairness, repeated across millions, is stronger than any scandal. So too in government. Honesty practiced by the many outweighs corruption done by the few. We restore confidence not through shouting, but through steady work, day after day. But steady work requires clear steps. So what are the steps? First, leaders must reward truth, not comfort. In any office, police, federal, city, county, if the honest worker gets punished for speaking up, then lies will spread like weeds. If the worker who keeps quiet gets praise and an easy path, then the whole office will learn the wrong lesson. Second, rules must be more than paper. A code of conduct means little if it is only read once and then placed in a drawer. Training must return again and again to one simple point. The public does not belong to you. You belong to the public. Third, good people must not stand alone. A young agent, a new officer, a new clerk, these need mentors who say, "Here is how we do it right," and mean it. When a good worker feels alone, fear grows. When fear grows, silence grows, and silence is the best friend corruption ever had. Picture a small meeting room in a government building, a plain table, a few workers seated with a file open between them. No cameras, no noise, just the hard work of checks and balance. This scene is not grand, but it is how clean government is kept clean. Now think of the line of agents leaving their post at night, radios clicking off, tired but proud. They are the unseen proof that America still works when her servants remember why they serve. This is where we must be careful. We must not let one man's fall become a weapon against every honest servant. The country cannot run on suspicion alone. If every officer is treated as guilty before he acts, the good will leave and the worst will stay. Yet we must also avoid the other danger, the danger of blind loyalty, the danger of saying, "He wore the uniform, so he must be right." A uniform does not make a man honest. A title does not wash away a crime. In a free land, the law stands above every rank. Some will say 5 years is too little, others too much. But the lasting lesson does not belong to one number of years. It belongs to what we choose to become after we hear such news. If we respond with hate, we will burn what we need to save. If we respond with shrugging, we will invite the next scandal. But if we respond with calm firmness, truth joined with fairness, we can protect the public and keep faith with liberty. History has seen this before. In my own day, soldiers sometimes misused their power. We corrected not by hatred of the army, but by reminding them and ourselves that liberty demands restraint. The same rule holds now. Now picture a town hall on a weeknight, folding chairs on a gym floor, a mayor at a microphone, citizens waiting their turn. One asks, "How will you stop this from happening again?" Another asks, "How do we know who to trust?" These are fair questions, and leaders should not fear them. A strong government is not one that never faces hard questions. A strong government is one that can answer them without anger. and fix what is broken without delay. And citizens have duties too. A citizen's duty is not only to vote, it is also to learn, to watch, and to speak with care, to refuse rumors, to demand facts, to judge actions with fairness, because lies can become a kind of mob. A mob can destroy an innocent man, and also a mob can hide a guilty man if the noise is loud enough and the truth is drowned. So we must be the kind of people who can hold two truths at once: that corruption is real and must be punished, and that honest service is real and must be honored. Picture a classroom of teenagers reciting the pledge, the flag bright in morning light. They have seen headlines of failure, yet they can still learn the older lesson, that duty is larger than the fall of any one man. Now let us speak to the young who may wish to serve. If you want to wear the badge, do not want it for power, want it for duty. Power is a drink that makes weak men drunk. Duty is bread that makes steady men strong. If you ever feel tempted to help a friend by bending the rules, stop. Do not ask, "Can I get away with it?" Ask, "If this is known tomorrow, will I still respect myself?" And if the answer is no, walk away. And if you already serve, and you see wrongdoing, do not treat it like a private matter. Public trust is not private property. It belongs to the people, and it must be returned clean every day. I know what it feels like to fear division in a nation. Division is not only a fight in the streets, it is a slow break in the heart. It is when neighbor doubts neighbor, when the worker doubts the court, when the child doubts the teacher's word. Corruption feeds that break. It says, rules are for fools. It says, only friends matter. It says, there is one law for them and another for you. A republic cannot live under that belief. America's strength is her unity. Her unity rests on character. When that character slips, we do not abandon the country, we repair it. Each conviction honestly reached, each reform honestly made, is proof that self-government still breathes. So as the courthouse lights dim and the press disperses, the real work begins. Citizens must stay watchful but fair. Officers must stay humble but firm. Our safety depends on both courage to expose wrongdoing and wisdom to keep what still works. Picture the flag again at sunset. Wind quieter now, families heading home, perhaps speaking of hope instead of scandal. The breeze still moves, the Republic still breathes. Let the fall of one man remind us to lift our own conduct higher. Let the badge of justice regain its shine through patience and reform. Let unity grow from honesty as dawn grows from night. And let every American ask, in private conscience and public duty alike, how shall I guard the trust that guards us all?